Y'all, it is K Girly, and welcome to the mini K Talk today. And on today's episode of the mini conversation that we're going to be having today is basically going to be a little taste of what I'm going to be talking about Wednesday at 7:30, because it's only February 23rd and so much is going on, okay, with the cat's eye situation and Daddy Chan getting upset. And then there's foreigners that stay in Korea, and some Koreans are actually speaking out about this as well, about how K-pop is actually looked at out there. Well then, so first things first, we're going to go ahead and hop right into it. First of all, with the cat's eye situation, I don't know too much about that situation to really speak on it. What I will say is from the little information that I do have on the situation, apparently Danielle's father is attacking Manon. Manon is actually leaving the group. Or Danny is running to tell her father some stuff, and Danielle's father decided to go on social media and repeat the things, and Manon is actually reposting a whole lot of stuff pertaining to the situation. I don't know. So guys, do not quote me on this. I will have to look into it some more and get more details on that for you guys. 2, the situation with the foreigners and the Koreans talking about how Koreans view K-pop. Oh, girl, my pearls were clutched. I was actually gagged a little bit because, they actually went into details like, hey, look, K-pop isn't really that big of a thing over here. It's more so global capacity. Like the groups that are like very, very big over here is ENHYPEN and ADP. If you guys don't know who ADP is, ADP is the group with Tarzan in it. If you guys know who Tarzan is, you know who ADP is, okay? Okay. So, and then they go into details about, how Stray Kids is looked at over there. Stray Kids isn't really that popular of a group. They only use, Felix is just plastered around on majority of the billboards out there because of, image purposes and stuff like that. But this is just my opinion. It's crazy how Felix is used on all the billboards, considering that they be giving him real xenophobia when it comes to him. But that's going to be a conversation on Wednesday. So, we're going to talk more about that in detail on Wednesday because, girl, it's a lot going on today. And then we got Daddy Chan going off on Bubble because people don't know how to respect their boundaries. Oh, girl, it's like, how many times you got to say, respect him, he respects you, simple as that. How many times you got to say that, and, something that kind of like that caught my attention when it comes to Chris is he would speak out about his boundaries being overstepped and overcrossed, even when it comes to his members' boundary being overstepped or overcrossed when it comes to these airports. But then he comes back and softens the blow. So I don't know, man. I don't know if it catches y'all attention as well, but it catches my attention very much so. Like, you speak out about it, next thing you know, it's like, oh, leave it alone, or I'm sorry, or I'm not trying to seem like I'm coming at y'all any kind of way. I'm not trying to fuss at y'all. I'm not trying to do this. Like, you trying to soften it and be sweet about it. And it's like, you're going to stand on something as serious as that, stand on it. Like, don't take that back. Like, don't be like, oh, just ignore it, leave it alone. Don't give it no attention. Don't give it no mind. Don't give these people no mind. Which I get, not giving the toxic behavior any mind. Like, don't give these people any mind. But if you are talking about your boundaries and your safety being violated, especially when it comes to your members, that is not something you leave alone. Like, you stand on that. And my good friend Simone, because we was talking about this in a group chat. So my beautiful good friend Simone, she was like, she's speaking from an older stance point of view. Like, hey, look, Chris can't just pop off the way we want him to pop off, like smacking the phones out of their hands and stuff like that. Like, he can't do that because, he's the leader. He has an image that he has to protect. And I agree with my friend Simone. I do agree with my friend Simone. But I also agree with my friend Vino, who also stated, just because he's the leader doesn't mean he has to take this. Like, if anything, he should stand up for, like, advocate more on it, like stand on it. And then my friend Ari, she also stated, like, yeah, like she would, she gets, him having to protect his image, but at the same time, as a leader, that should actually be the reason why you advocate for boundaries and safety. Like, that should actually be the reason why you speak up and stand on that. With that being said, here's my personal opinion from the one and only K Girly. I agree with all three of my friends. I get that Bang Chan has an image that he has to protect as a leader, especially with him being on Bubble going, whatever you do as my fans, it affects my image. Whatever I do, it affects my image as well. But you guys, it affects my image as well. So I get that he wants to protect his image. Chris, I get that 100%. I get you want to protect your image, but also in the same sense, just because you're a leader does not mean that you have to sit there and allow the disrespect and allow this stuff to happen to you without advocating for it. Like, granted, I don't know what's going on with some of these fans telling Chris to smack the females. Me, K Girly ain't say nothing. K Girly ain't say Nathaniel. Do you hear me? The only thing K Girly said was just start smacking the phones out of their hands at this point, or just pushing their hands out of their face, whatever the case may be. That's what I said do. Because it's like you advocate for your boundaries. Like Chris, he would advocate for those boundaries. He will fuss about it. Like, hey, look, how many times I got to say respect my boundaries, respect my boundaries, I respect you. And then he will always follow back with, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it like that. I'm not trying to come at you guys like that. I'm not trying to fuss at you guys like that. Don't worry about it. Leave it alone. It is what it is. Like, no, it's not. It is what it is. That is not something you need to leave alone. That is actually something you need to stand on business about. And me personally, I do agree with my friend Ari as well. This is why I say all three of my friends, I agree with exactly what they said, because it actually goes hand in hand with everything. Like, as a leader, if anything, that should be the reason why you advocate and stand on that. Granted, I get you may not want to push people's phones out of their hands, or at least put your hands up and, push their hands away from your face. I get that you may not want to do that, but how would, unless you start pressing charges on those fans or something like that's the only thing that I can see happening. Because it's like, you would say, go off. Like, hey, respect my boundaries. Stop putting your phones in my face. Don't walk up to my members and you doing this and that and the third. You say that and then you come right back and be like, leave it alone. I wasn't trying to come off as rude or mean. No, Chris, you need to come off rude. You need to come off mean. As far as your image goes, you have a solidified image. Who is going to tarnish your image? Who's going to tarnish your image? Be honest right now. And I want everyone to be honest right now. Who is going to really tarnish your image as a great ass fucking leader? Because you're a damn good leader. Like, Christopher is a damn good leader. We're not going to take that from him. What I agree with the most is my friend Ari. She also stated that, maybe this is just a theory. Maybe, he dials back because he has something going on or something in the works, and he doesn't want that to get taken from him. And to me, that kind of messes with me a little bit, because it's like, okay, so in order for him to basically do what it is he needs to do as an artist, he has to basically put up with the blatant bullshit and disrespect that these fans give, like the overstepping of the boundaries. And I don't care what nobody says. I'm going to keep saying it. Just because he signed up to be a K-pop idol does not mean he has to tolerate the disrespect that comes with it. The overstepping of the boundaries, the saesangs. He does not have to put up with that. He doesn't. Like, he can put his foot down for it. But, just like I said, like my friend said, he probably has some stuff put in the works and he's trying to protect what it is that he has going on. I get that 100%. So this brings up to the question that I have for all of you guys for today. Make sure you guys talk amongst yourself in the comments when I ask this question. Why is it that these K-pop leaders have to tolerate disrespect, boundaries being overcrossed, safety being violated, people tossing or throwing things at them, people assaulting them in any way, shape, or form, and they have to sit there and be quiet about it? Why do they have to basically bottle up their emotions and be people pleasers? Why? Why should they have to do that? Or better yet, why do they do that? Why? That is the question that I have for you guys today. Until next time, which will be Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. I hope you guys are ready because, honey, we're going deep dive into the conversation. Okay? Sending kisses from K Girly. Until next time, annyeong!